I tweeted out something just at the end of the game. Suddenly everybody cares. Or suddenly everyone's asked about the League Cup. Probably be about 1,000 replies by the time you guys get to it. Wasn't talking about us. Clearly, we're asked. We are asked. I was talking about the opposition fans. And the opposition fans are just timelines absolutely knackered. Yeah, it was a poor performance. It was a poor performance before we got the equaliser. The strike from Bristol to open the scoring was fantastic. And fair play to them. They hustled from minute one. They wanted it more, and that's worrying because of how many players that you would consider fringe in that starting 11. A lot of players that you would consider fringe in that starting 11. A lot of players that you would consider playing for their places. A lot of players that you would consider needing to get back into the first team, needing to prove something to Jose Mourinho. And they didn't do it. They didn't do it. I don't even know where to start with this. It's bad. Ultimately, I find it hilarious how the opposition fans are responding to this, because everyone was telling us it doesn't matter when we won it last year. So that was the whole point of my tweet earlier, which is now it suddenly matters to everybody else. I don't know. Had a couple of good tackles. Was quite incisive of a little bit of his passing, obviously taking into account who was playing. Pogba in that number 8 position, pushed a bit further forward, was looking pretty decent, and everything was on course for us to turn up and to put them away. I mean, if we'd have played to our potential, it's 5-6, 7-0. We didn't play to our potential. They outworked us. They absolutely outworked and out-hustled us from the minute one. And that's worrying because that's an attitude thing. I would like to try and analyse the game, but I honestly don't know where to start. Start with a keeper. I don't think Romero could have done much for either of the goals. They were two absolutely belting finishes. I thought Shaw was all right. Still not quite there with the delivery when he's got the ball at his feet, but thought Darmian was poor. Centre halves didn't really look together. Rojo looked like he didn't have a great game. A bit of a passenger. Zlatan was a passenger. Martial was tripping up over his feet. He was trying stuff. Tripping up over his feet. It was just a poor performance. Top and bottom of that. Top and bottom of that. It was a poor performance. Ultimately, probably doesn't affect our season as it didn't last year, really. It was nice to win, obviously. We had a great day out at Wembley. Happy days. But your season isn't defined on a League Cup win alone. We sat Louis van Gaal after winning an FA Cup, which is a bigger cup than this. So it wouldn't have made or broke our season. Nightmare. Right, do we have any actual questions in the comments, or is it just people smashing the keyboard with their hands and ranting and venting? Because it seems like there's a lot of chaos in the comments. I can't really read them if it's just chaos. So give me some questions and I'll get in the mixer with them. Players are not serious enough, says the Purple Rack. The attitude of the players wasn't right from minute one. They weren't as aggressive and up for it as Bristol were. As I said earlier, the Bristol was definitely down for that tonight. They definitely wanted it. I think it's Jose's style to ask for more transfer. Really? Do you think he would sabotage the team's performances to try and get a little bit more money? I don't think so, you know. No Matic, no party, says someone. We need Bale and Griezmann. Well, the chances are we're not going to get both of them, are we? Mourinho shouldn't get the blame for this. I'm undecided, to be honest, on how much blame a manager does get. When it's continued over season and a season, and it's obvious that it's the manager should get a blame, I think, sometimes. There's things that you can see that aren't being fixed that you think the manager should be seeing. Sometimes it's down to the players. The manager can only do so much with what he's got. Tonight, I do think it was probably more down to the players than the manager. I thought, system-wise, it was us going for it in a little bit of a way. It was a 4-3-3. It was quite attacking. I think it's just the players lacked the cohesion. Maybe it was because of the 10 changes. Maybe it was a hastily thrown together team. But that's not an excuse, because ultimately we're playing Bristol City, and whatever 11 we put out, even if we put Angel Gomez in there, I mean, especially if we put Angel Gomez in there, it should be more than enough to take out Bristol City. It's the top and bottom of it. How does it feel to get knocked out by Bristol? Well, I've seen a lot of people saying embarrassing, and this is the worst thing. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened, is it? Let's just take a breath before you say something that's utterly ridiculous, and just think, Sir Alex Ferguson lost to York and other teams. You know, we've lost in the League Cup before. Yeah, it's shit. But this isn't a non-league team that's beat us here. This is a team that's doing well in the Championship. We said yesterday in the preview, you know, there is a chance of an upset here. If United play to the potential, we wipe the floor with them. But we don't. The only team to play a strong side and lose? Well, that's not true, is it? Really? Let's face it. We made 10 changes. That's arguably still a strong side because of who we had in, but we did make 10 changes. New players in January. I'm sure there'll be new players in January. Players panicked when they were pressed by Bristol. Yeah, I think it's fair to say Bristol wanted it more, and I've said that 3 or 4 times in this little thing. Bristol just simply wanted it more than we did, and they went for it. Stop making excuses for the team. How have I made an excuse for the team? I've literally blamed the players. Are you hearing what you want to hear, or are you actually listening to what I'm saying? No spirit, shit football, says Rickin. Yeah, I think happy days with that one. People saying there's lots of dead wood. I didn't get the rest of that message. Someone saying calm down, pick out the better comments. I can't pick out the better comments because there is not really that many good comments, to be honest. Mourinho seems to be losing his aggression. Well, we don't know what he's like behind closed doors, do we? I can't imagine he's happy with that. He loves the League Cup. Now, that's something that is an absolute truth. Jose Mourinho definitely does go hard in the League Cup, and I'm pretty sure that Mourinho selected that side thinking it was good enough to win the League Cup. Clearly he was wrong. I don't know why I'm getting abuse, right? Why everyone's doing personal abuse at me in here. What did I do wrong? It's not really on, is it? Let's face it. Champions League, bigger priority, says Alex Doyle. People are going to laugh at you for saying it. I agree. It is a bigger priority, and we wouldn't be changing 10 players in the Champions League. But people will rightly say, if you can't beat Bristol City, what hope have you got of trying to progress in the Champions League? They do have a little bit of a point, to be fair. Lingard deserved to start. Listen, I understand what people are saying here in terms of on the players themselves. They was good enough, and they should have done the job. Do I think Mourinho has lost the dressing room? No, dressing room's at the end of the corridor on the right hand side. It's that easy to find. Damian is so bad. It's also his first game in a while. Not really much mitigation for that. He should have performed, but sometimes that does have a big effect. That people are replying to like I'm saying I'm not asked. I am asked. I always want to see United win. Always. That's the priority for any time United step out onto a field. I want to see us win. Regardless of the competition. What I was saying is, clearly opposition fans are asked, and now I'm just looking at my timeline here because it's just going absolutely bananas. It's going as fast as the stream of comments is here. My Twitter timeline, it's an absolute mess. from opposition fans replying to it that don't understand what I was saying. I didn't even think it was that complicated, to be honest. I said suddenly everyone is asked about the League Cup. Sergio Romero was a ticking time bomb throughout the game. Really? You think? What socks am I wearing? I've got like a wool kind of sock going on. It's like a dark blue with a bit of a white fleck in it, like a little bit of a, you know, a warmer one with got like a navy blue, white and navy blue sort of stripe going on. Who would I sign in Jan? I think we need to do a proper full-on assessment of what we've got and what's likely to be moving on. Because there's definitely people going to be moving on. And once you've done an assessment of what you've got and what's likely to be moving on, I think then you can say, right, what is needed. I certainly think we need another midfielder. But, see, this is where it gets complicated because you don't know if Timbo's going to be brought back. You don't know if Pereira's going to be brought back. If they're going to be brought back, I'm happy for them to be given the opportunities. It could be a blessing in disguise for us. If you want to get philosophical on it, yeah, I mean, I'll still be gutted about this. Someone saying Fergie would have thrown this fixture to concentrate on stuff. Yeah, it might have done. We did lose a lot of League Cup games. We didn't win many League Cups in Fergie's tenure, to be honest. Is Mourinho to blame? I'm sort of going over this again here, aren't we? I sort of mentioned it earlier. There's obviously a proportion of blame, you know, from 0 to 100, where it's Mourinho. But there's also a proportion of blame, you know, maybe the transverse ratio to what it is Mourinho, that you got to put on the players. Someone said, do I still want some facts about Bristol? Go on then. Is one of them that they just knocked United out of the cup? I'll let you have that one for free. I think there's a massive portion of the blame has to go on the players tonight because that side was plenty good enough. It was plenty good enough. Look, I mean, we had Argentina's international goalkeeper. If we say it's 4 at the back, it's an international, so you've got a back 5 that's international players. Daley Blind, I'm not sure how regularly he plays for Holland at the moment, but he has played for Holland. You got Paul Pogba, simply one of the best players in English football, and you got Scott McTominay, a young player. And then England international in Rashford, an occasional French international, and a phenomenal player in Martial and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. So it wasn't like Mourinho picked a weak side. That side was plenty good enough to go and beat Bristol. So I have to put a larger percentage of the blame onto the players. Now, the manager definitely does get some, because he picked that team. He probably put the mentality into that team. But ultimately, those players were seriously good enough to go and win that game, and they didn't win the game. Why didn't they win the game? The only thing I can think of at the moment is that Bristol wanted it way more than we did. Someone's saying don't blame the players. You have to, at some degree, blame the players. Scenes when Bristol win the cup, quite funny if they did, wouldn't it? City won with majority kids yesterday. Hold up. Didn't Company play? Didn't Silva play? Didn't Toure play? Yeah, okay. Many players didn't look match fit, says Wayne. That's not a bad shout, to be honest. It's not an excuse. But, you know, you have to sift through the rubble a little bit, don't you, when you lose, and you have to come up with possibilities for what's happened. Go and have a look at that tweet and just reply to some of those people that have tweeted us, because at the moment it's on 250 replies and about 5 people actually understood what I was saying. Jesus Christ. Company didn't play. I thought he did. Whatever. There was no passion, no effort, no aggression. Bernardo Silva played, not David Silva. Looked like Lou Van Gaal team out there. Lou Van Gaal lost in the League Cup. You know, I mean, it happens, doesn't it? It's no excuse, but it does happen. Stop the excuses. You got beat by the better team tonight. Where have I excused them? Please tell me, because I don't understand. Jesus Christ. How confident am I about Mickey's future at United? I think he's gone, to be honest. That's where I'm saying.